I want to spend the rest of this segment talking about the unfortunate passing of Norm Macdonald, one of the all-time great comedians, and I think a favorite of most everyone on this show. Jeff, I know you and I have shared, bits of his together over the years, and just, a lot of laughs. Mark, I believe you were a big fan as well of his. And I know Davis and John were too. So, but yeah, I was sort of blown away when I saw the news. And I think Jeff, you were the first person that even pointed out I didn't even know he was sick, which was a deadpan line that Norm gave when talking about Adolf Hitler. But it was apropos. I had no idea that he was sick. A private battle with cancer. Norm Macdonald passed away. Mark, your sort of, reaction, just your thoughts about the talent that he was.
I was blown away to hear that he passed. I mean, he always felt like he was one of those comedians that everyone dug. I haven't come across anyone that's like, no, I'm not into him or anything. He always tickled everyone in the right way with his super dry sense of humor. And it's, for me, right? Dirty Work was incredibly influential in young Mark. I mean, the Saigon horror that bit my nose off worked its way into my vernacular as a child.
Yes, it did. I remember.
And I absolutely love that movie. And Screwed was great. Of course, all the Saturday Night Live bits.
Oh, man.
And it's really sad to see him go. And I definitely re-owe a watching to Dirty Work once again.
That's a classic.
Yeah,
absolutely. Jeff, how about you?
Obviously, I was surprised to hear that he went, since none of us knew that he had been battling that for over a decade. The best part of this is just all of the different bits that everybody's been sharing online and talking about, and I've been taking a stroll down memory lane, clicking on different links. I loved all of his appearances on Dennis Miller's radio show. And then anytime he not guest spotted, but it was a guest on either Conan O'Brien or David Letterman. I think those were the three guys that were the best when it came to having him be a guest on their show, because they would kind of just let him do his thing. Didn't try to get in on the act or kind of cut him off or interrupt or anything like that. Just appreciate Norm. Let him do his long form storytelling. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be hysterical. And just let him have the spotlight. I was trying to think of some bits that I really liked. With the Dennis Miller one that I was listening to just a couple hours ago, I loved when he was doing the ventriloquist dummies.
Oh my God, yeah.
And one of the dummies is this old man, and Norm's like, I'm sick of this character because he's a Holocaust denier. It's and it's not even hateful. He's just ignorant. And then he was having him talking to the phone. It's just so great. And then what was the other thing that I really liked? One joke that always stood out to me was him talking about how if you could travel back in time and kill Adolf Hitler, he wouldn't want to be given the position because he's afraid that he wouldn't get the job done, because he had heard so much about Adolf Hitler being so charismatic that he was afraid that he would travel back in time, be ready to assassinate him, accidentally hear one of his speeches and fall under his spell and end up becoming one of his most trusted lieutenants. And he's put a bullet in his head. Yeah, maybe in the bunker so the Soviets can't capture him.
His feud with John Lovitz was also hilarious too. Talking about beating John Lovitz in tennis, and just going out there in jeans, and John Lovitz has been working like a tennis pro for months on end, talking about how good at tennis he is, and Norm just rolls out there in a leather jacket and jeans and kicks Lovitz's ass. He was the master of just the deadpan delivery, and he just keeps plowing right ahead in these convoluted, long-winded stories that's he could make just such a stupid punchline so funny, because part of the hilarity was this absurd journey that he took you on to get there, to get to just such a simple throwaway joke. But he did it with such just his unique style that made it just so infinitely funny. And probably the greatest Weekend Update guy ever. His O.J. Simpson jokes. I mean, just
cost him his job.
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. And one of the clips I saw going around was when Charles Woodson had won the Heisman Trophy, and he was hosting the ESPYs. It's like, first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. It's something they can never take away from you, unless you kill your wife in a waiter. And it's just, I mean, he was no holds barred. I mean, him on The View talking about, didn't Hillary Clinton, have somebody murdered? And just Barbara Walters' reaction to it.
Yeah, should shoot that down.
God, I mean,
it was a matter of public record.
Yeah, he was just amazing. I'm gonna loop in Professor Chris Davis now to get in on the act here. Davis, we're talking Norm Macdonald. Welcome to the show. Your Norm memories as we're trying to honor the tragically passed comedian.
Oh, first of all, man, that actually hit me. That was hard. I love Norm Macdonald, and I will say most of it is from Saturday Night Live, but Dirty Work is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And I'm sure you guys have already talked about it. I don't know everything you guys have said, but I will say a lot of my pre-driver's license days was listening to Napster downloaded Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh yeah,
clips, and we would listen to them over and over as we played video games. We'd hang out in my room. We'd watch. We'd listen to those clips. We'd just laugh our ass off. And Norm Macdonald was a huge part of that. And from what I've been reading, he might have been the reason why that sketch started, just so he could do that character. I don't know how true that is. A lot of things have come out since his death, but he's just an incredibly funny dude. And I heard the end of what you were saying, but like one of his jokes that is very well known, the moth joke.
Yeah,
he will just drag it out, and you're just waiting for a punchline. You're waiting for a punchline. You're waiting for a punchline, and he just keeps going. And he's so good at that, just drawing you in and just making you wait for it. And sometimes he doesn't even deliver. It's just there. He just leaves it there.
The Bob Saget roast too is another one where he purposefully just telling these old timey jokes just to pop the comedians and to fly in the face of the producers who told them to be like extra raunchy at this roast. And the other, I think the underrated part of that is if you watch it all the way through, he gets very poignant with Bob Saget at the end too, and actually just wanted to pay tribute to his friend and somebody that he admired. And Norm definitely had that side of him too. And I'm going to play a clip to close this segment that will show that as well. His last appearance on David Letterman. We'll throw that on, which is one of my favorite bits that Norm did comedically, but also I think just showed sort of the depth of human being that he was as well. Just a couple other ones because Jeff, I think you and I spent like a good part of a trip that you spent in San Francisco. We were just listening and watching Norm clips one time. And one of them that you turned me on to was an appearance on Conan. Norm was somebody from Melrose Place that was doing a movie with Carrot Top.
Carrot Top.
Yeah, and just Norm completely taking over the interview, calling the movie Box Office Poison. Chairman of the board spelled Bored. Like, do yourself a favor. Just look up all these bits. He was like, people throw around all these things, when people pass away and stuff. But Norm Macdonald really was just an incredibly unique comedian. I mean, I've not really seen anybody quite like him that could get me to laugh the way that he does. Like the path of travel with Norm, the deadpan, the just absurd, convoluted storytelling and stuff like that. He's so good.